And I knew them all. I knew Lennon, I knew McCartney.
You met them, yeah?
I mean, but we used to go dancing together, you know. We'd go to the same discotheques and
Yeah.
So your First Division, your program, it's obviously a classy...
Yeah, we drink champagne all the night.
Do you?
Yeah.
How wonderful.
Yeah. You don't like champagne?
I do, sure.
I'm a champagne freak, you know. I've been using many things, but now...
Champagne.
Champagne, that's it.
It's enough.
That's enough.
Sufficient.
Yeah. That's enough. À la vôtre.
Yes, cheers. Nice to meet
Very
you.
happy. Me too. Very happy to meet you. Merci.
Good.
And where do you live in London?
I live in London. I have an apartment in London, but for the last year I've been living just outside New York, a place called the Hamptons. Because really, like, I don't get many jobs in England, you know. I don't get offered many English films, so as I'm being offered mainly American films, then I thought, well, if I spend more time there, then, you know, I will get more offers.
And why didn't you come to live in Hollywood?
Well, you know, when I shot The Collector, Wyler introduced me to John Ford, Cukor, Wilder, and everybody wanted me to use me. And I sort of got the impression that I could have anything I wanted. But the price was that I lived there. And I was just a kid, you know what I mean? I was homesick for London, my friends, you know what I mean? So it was out of the question, really, that I could go and live in California. And also, I like real cities.
Yeah.
Like California, it isn't like a city, you know. You're on your own.
It's an area.
You're on your car, you're on your own. You go to a shop, you're on your own.
Yeah.
There's no village, there's no neighbor. And there's no season, you know. I like season. I like it's snow in the winter and it's cold and then there's spring and, you know. So it's just not, I'm not sort of genetically suited to California.
It's too easy maybe to live in California. No? Life is too easy.
Well, you know,
to
work. I mean,
us.
Orson said, you know, when I went to California, you know, I sat down in an armchair.
Yeah.
And 20 years later, I got up.
Yeah. Do you still listen to groups of the 60s, like the Kings?
Yeah.
The Who?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do. For me, you know, there hasn't really been any movement in music as interesting as that.
The end of the 60s, yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, the groups that are good since the 60s play like the 60s. Yeah. You know, so I mean, the 70s, you know.
Yeah. What was your favorite group at that time?
Well, I had, you know, there were so many, you know. I mean, I love the Beatles, I love the Doors, I love the Who, you know. I love Hendrix, of course. Yeah. I love Janis Joplin, you know.
Your brother has been
My brother discovered the Who, yeah.
Yeah, he discovered Janis, no?
No, he didn't discover Janis, but he was a good friend of Janis. But he discovered the Who. He gave them that name, the Who. Yeah. They were a group called the High Numbers. Yeah. And he rechristened them the Who. Yeah. And he was their manager, but also, but he had his own label. And Hendrix was the first label that Hendrix recorded on was his label. It's called Track Records.
Track Records.
Yeah. So I had a very good introduction to rock and roll. Yeah. You know, I went everywhere with him, you know. And I knew them all. I knew Lennon, I knew McCartney.
You met them, yeah?
I mean, but we used to go dancing together, you know. We'd go to the same discotheques and stuff. It's hard to explain how it was then, you know. We were all just there, you know. Yeah. We were just like young. We were the first working class.
Yeah, young savages Englishmen, yeah.
Yes, but we were working class, you know. This was the important
working
thing.
Class heroes.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Et pour être sûr de ne rien rater de Arditube, abonnez-vous et mettez un pouce bleu.